Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Last Wrestling Podcast, because if I have a wrestling podcast, everybody else on planet Earth does as well, including you, and yours probably gets more listens than mine does. But I went to Wrestle Kingdom, and now I get to talk about it. Okay, I just got home, literally walked in the door less than 5 minutes ago, from night one of Wrestle Kingdom 14, the first half of Double Gold Dash, the first half of Raiga za Finaru, and I want to talk about this. So, top points. 1. Will Ospreay never wrestles anything less than the main event ever again because nobody should have to follow that. Ospreay, 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 best in the world right now. And it helps that he's got great talent to work with, but Jesus H. Christ, that guy nearly gave me a heart attack a couple of times in that match. That was the most intense, the most invested that I was. I have a heart rate monitor on my wrist as it's a Fitbit, and my Fitbit kind of spiked. My heart rate nearly doubled from the resting heart rate in that match. Absolutely fantastic. Second, I got some of my predictions wrong. I was right that Naito won the IC belt because he had to, otherwise that place was going to riot. 85 to 90% LIJ merch in the crowd. Everybody from the cute little kids in their cute little cosplay to the old men in their, Lion Market gear and LIJ hats. It was incredible. Yeah, Naito is the top star in Japan, and if they don't give him the double belts, it's money lost. It's money off the table. They got away with it 2 years ago. They better pay it off now. 3, too long. Too long, too long, too long, too long, too long, too long, too long. Okay. Doors opened at 3 p.m. The first match started around 4, and that meant that this was about a 5-hour show with dark matches. And I'm sorry, yes, it's Wrestle Kingdom, you can justify it, but there were things on this show that didn't need to be there. And by the time we got to the Double Gold Dash, the crowd was just deflated. They loved Naito. Naito's entrance got the biggest reaction of the night of pretty much anything, but by the time the match actually started and Jay White was doing his, avoid contact, leave the ring garbage, good heel tactics, but just, in storyline, you're a cowardly schmuck, F you. But by the time that was going on, the crowd was dead. Now, Naito and Gato are good enough that they're able to get the crowd back up, and everybody was invested pretty much in terror anytime it looked like Jay White was going to win. By the time we got to the main event, again, people were only about half there. The incredible talent of the main eventers, Okada and Ibushi, managed to get everybody back up. Stuff that could have been cut, because saying too long, too long, too long, too long is not helpful. I'm sorry. Things that could have been cut. 1, cut both of the special 8-man tags. Those did not need to be there. Yes, they promoted matches the following night, but you've had forever to promote those. You had 3 shows in Korakuen to promote those. And frankly, at this point, if people haven't bought their tickets for tomorrow, they're not going to. So, dump those. You've got 2 nights in the Tokyo Dome, and you cannot find a way to get everybody on the show? No, those didn't need to be there. Waste of time. And honestly, the first of the 2 special 8-man tags, I spent a good chunk of that in the lobby, using the toilet, and getting a snack. 4, Liger. Oh, the place came Naito got the best reaction of the night. Liger was oh so teeny tiny close second place. And frankly, if somebody were to pull out some kind of a decibel meter and tell me that Liger's reaction was a little bit louder, you know what? I wouldn't argue. I would completely believe that data. It was interesting that everybody got an entrance. All of the old guys, I have no idea how they came across on TV. but everybody came across as at least somewhat functional. The match worked. Bum guy getting the win. One of the predictions I got wrong. I expected like this would be Liger's emotional win, but the fact that his music played at the end, that he got to say thank you to all of his old allies, all of his old rivals, and some of his current friends, it was a beautiful moment. There was a lot of smoke and mirrors in that match. There was a lot of everybody getting their signature spots in. Yeah, I feel privileged to see Fujinami hit the Dragon Screw leg whip, and did he hit the Dragon Suplex or not? I don't remember. He hit a couple Dragon Screw leg whips, and that was really cool. Did lock in the Dragon Sleeper at one point. By the way, Tatsumi Fujinami is the guy who invented pretty much every move in wrestling that has dragon in it. Dragon suplex, dragon sleeper, dragon screw leg whip, etc. I always thought originally that was Ultimo Dragon. I was stupid. Great reaction for Liger. Tomorrow is going to be something special. 5. The women's match, the Stardom Special Exhibition. Now, as I understand, this wasn't broadcast anywhere. This wasn't even broadcast on New Japan World, so quick rundown. The crowd was gloriously indifferent to this. I'm thinking a lot of New Japan fans are New Japan fans, and that's about it. They don't necessarily follow Stardom, they don't follow Joshi Wrestling. They probably tangentially follow American stuff. They knew who Moxley was, they knew who Jericho was, etc. But most these 4 women came into this and they were fighting the fact that nobody knew who they were. That said, they overcame quite a bit of it. The outfits were fun. I forget the name. The girl who had the gas mask and the light up katana. I absolutely loved that. They got mostly golf clap reactions. They got polite applause anytime somebody hit an interesting move. But for the most part, nobody was invested. But credit to the Stardom ring announcer who put so much welly, so much oomph, so much emphasis into every single syllable that honestly I think she did better than the New Japan guy. And New Japan has pretty good announcers, except when they try to speak English. So Stardom, they didn't exactly blow the Tokyo Dome away, but they acquitted themselves well. There weren't any obvious botches that I could see. And if you've never seen a Stardom show before, hello, that's me. This was a pretty good introduction to them. These girls know what they're doing, and I actually look forward to seeing more of them. 6. New Japan is going to make an absolute goddamn killing on merchandise for this weekend, if today's any indication. I showed up about an hour or so before the doors opened. I figured if I was going to visit the merch tables, that would be a good time to do it. No. Because by the time I showed up, this looked like something out of Tokyo Disneyland on a bad day. The line for the merchandise was snaking about 5 times in front of the main gate to the Tokyo Dome, and then looping around the corner and halfway to the train station. It was bad. It was a long line, and frankly, there wasn't that much that I necessarily wanted. I try not to spend too much money at the merch table because I'm a broke little public school teacher. Okay. But yeah, I would love to see New Japan's merchandise numbers for this weekend, because something tells me they certainly paid for the flights for Moxley and Jericho right off of that. Okay, number 7, I think I'm up to. If I'm not up to number 7, I apologize. It's been a long day. I was right on another prediction. There's a very good chance that before we have Double Gold Naito, we will have Juicy 2 belts. Not only did Juice Robinson and David Finlay, I keep wanting to say Fit Finlay, David Finlay win the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles, Juice Robinson will now face, it is official, Jon Moxley for a United States Championship, possible double gold there. I got to look cool, by the way. We'll stick this in number 7 because it's related. After Moxley defeated Lance Archer in the Texas Death Match, he got on the microphone, and I got to look really cool doing live Japanese translation of Moxley as he was cutting his English promo. That I guarantee you 90% of the people in the audience did not understand his exact verbiage. They got the idea. He said, Juice Robinson, tomorrow, finish it. That was about it. So I got to do the live translation, explain the gambler analogy, etc. That felt good. Linking on that, number 8, that Texas Death Match actually worked a whole lot better than I thought it was. I thought that was going to be the car crash, literally, of the night. And there were a lot of spots. There were a lot of weapon shots. Obviously, it finished with everybody going through it. It was one spot where everybody went through the table, and it worked. And they managed to avoid most of the boredom that comes from a last man standing match, which is essentially what this is. It was a last man standing match plus submissions. There was a bit of spot count, spot count, spot count, but they broke that up enough with submission attempt, with, check the arm to see if the guy's unconscious, with trying to choke somebody out with a plastic bag from a convenience store. I have been watching wrestling since I was in junior high school, and I am now in my mid-30s, and I have never seen anybody use a plastic bag as a weapon. That was freaking genius. Oh, by the way, I've also never seen anybody do a German suplex with the attacker standing on the middle rope and the victim standing on the apron on the outside of the ring, and somehow they managed to do a German suplex. That was Okada and Ibushi, and just credit to that, because that was absolutely amazing. 9, fun note on the crowd control. After the show ended, they didn't let us leave. They let the floor empty first, and then the balconies in order to prevent too much congestion on the way out, which is good because it was pretty crowded on the way out. Fortunately, I made it to the train station with no problem. Everybody from Tokyo or who was staying in Tokyo was taking the Tokyo Metro. I had to take the JR line to get back out to Chiba, because I'm not spending the money on a hotel in Tokyo when I live an hour away. No siree, Bob. By the way, if your name is Bob and you're watching this, leave a comment. Let me know that you are Bob. But yeah, good crowd control. Once they actually let us go, getting out was pretty easy. And 10, you know what? I can't really argue against the show. I recommend checking it out if you have New Japan World. Obviously, you don't need me to tell you Wrestle Kingdom's the biggest show of the year. They managed to pull this off. And if they put on a show as good as this was tomorrow, it's going to go down as one of the best Wrestle Kingdoms of all time. So, in summation, there were some things that didn't quite work. Special tag matches didn't work. Those should have been cut. The show was too long. But sometimes sometimes the spotlights were actually getting right in the eyes of people in the upper deck. It wasn't that bad because the lights were pointed at the ceiling during the actual matches. But during some of the entrances, I was having to blink a few times because I was getting stars in my eyes. But other than that, very minor quibbles. Absolutely fantastic professional wrestling. Crowd was a little bit dead by the end, but the talent in the ring got them back. It was fantastic. A great start of the send-off for Liger. And I'm going to get this onto the internet and hope some of you liked it. If you're interested, if you have any questions about what it was like in the arena, in the Tokyo Dome, let me know. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Leave a comment down below, and I will be happy to answer them. I need to say that more often. I need to, drive people to actually leave comments here, don't I? So, that is night 1 of Wrestle Kingdom. I will be going to night 2, and it's an earlier start time, so I better get this rendered and get to bed. So, thank you very much. Catch Ray sign off.